Hey folks, Dr. RV here with all the answers to all your RV questions and needs.
So what falls under the title of RV water management, you might ask? Well, number one, make sure you have enough water. Fill your water up as much as you can, but remember, if you're going to dry camp, if you're going to take a long trip, you need to have enough water, so keep an eye on it. You will lose up to 25% while you're traveling down the road because it will shake off the excess. Number two, careful on your showers. If you are dry camping and you don't have a constant water source, take what we call a submarine shower. Wash off, turn it off, soap up, and wash off again. That'll conserve as much water as possible. That way everybody has a chance to use it. Number three, the toilet. Before you do your business, fill the toilet up with a little bit of water. This will keep from using a lot of excess water when flushing. So, flushing, filling up the tanks. That's also a good thing to keep an eye on. When the tanks get full, well, that's when we have the most despised maintenance of all, dumping the tanks. Let's go take a look. So, when it comes to the tanks, they'll range anywhere from 20 gallons all the way up to 100 gallons, depending upon the size of the RV, the make, the model. This particular one has 65-gallon tanks. When they get full, they've got to be dumped. This is the dumping station. All of them will look almost the same. You'll have your sewer hose, you'll have your connections and your hookups, and each handle for the black and the gray tank. So the most important thing to start with, don't forget your doctor's gloves. So although this isn't the most fun you'll have on your trip, the doctor's going to make this as painless for you as possible. So come on in. First thing you want to do is remove the cap. Make sure both of your valves are completely closed before you remove that cap. Reason being is, if the valve was somewhat open, it was filling up that line, and when you release that cap, well, you know what happens then. Next, get a hold of one end of your hose, the end that goes on the sewer pipe. Take it, hook it up, make sure it's nice and tight. It'll usually have a little movement in it or a click, something along those lines to make sure it's nice and secure. You don't want it to be unsecure. Next thing you want to do is you want to pull your valves. Now, does it matter what order you pull them in? Yes, it does. You always want to dump the black tank first. Reason for that is because that's where your waste is. The black tank holds anything that would be considered sewer, everything that comes out of the toilet. The gray tanks hold pretty much soapy water, bathtub water, sink water from the dishes, and so on. So the reason you want to dump the black first is so that your solids and your sewer go out first. Then whatever's left in the hose can be washed out by the gray tank. So you open the black first, let it flow, close it back up, open the gray, let the water flush out the line, and now you've got a somewhat clean line to put back into your RV. So once you're hooked up to this end, take the other end, and that will go into the park side of the sewer. You'll either have it at your site, or you may have to go to a dumping station. All RV sites are different. Usually, they're right there with your RV, which makes it nice and convenient. Once you have both hooked up, you do have the option of opening up the gray tank and leaving it open. That way, when you shower, it's water in, water out. You don't have to keep coming out and pulling it. Do not do that with the black tank. If you do that with the black tank, the solids will stay and the liquids will go, and you will have a terrible odor coming through the RV. All right, okay guys, so you pull your valves, let it all go out, and you're done. Now, I would like to point out, the gray and the black are usually labeled by color. One is gray, one is black. If they are not labeled, the fastest way to tell is the black line will be much thicker than the gray line. Why is that? Because solids have to travel through the black tank, and just water has to travel through the gray tank. So that's the big difference. If they're not labeled, that's a good peace of mind to be able to tell. So once you're done, everything's dumped out and it's good, we want to flush it out. We want to clean out that black tank because there's still some remnants left over that could cause some odor. How do we do that? Well, there's a couple of ways. Some of the RVs, like this one, are equipped with a flushing valve, which is right down here. You can hook a water hose into it. Small jets will spray into the tank and clean it out. If you do not have one of those, a simple hose through the bathroom window or through the side of the RV into the toilet until you fill up the tank a little and flush it out. You just want to get it nice and clean. A hose is probably the fastest way to do it, but I'll leave that up to you. So, What do you do after that? Close your valves. Push them all the way in. Make sure they're sealed. We don't want to have the same problem we talked about earlier when you pull the cap off. Then you want to take some RV chemical for the toilet. Make sure the black tank is closed. Put this into the toilet, depending upon how much there is in the bottle and the size of the tank. And you want to put about 2 gallons of water in after that. That will help with odor and breakdown of toilet paper. Speaking of toilet paper, only RV toilet paper. Don't try to use anything else. If it says septic safe, it is not RV safe. Must be designed for an RV. It's quickly dissolving. So finally, we're done. Let's pull our cap off. Take the hose, make sure you drain it out. Wrap it up. And store it in your favorite storage place. Preferably not in the same place with your freshwater hose. I think you can figure that one out on your own. So, next thing before you leave the park, you're done. Everything's emptied and ready. What do we want to do? Water maintenance. Fill up your water. Fill it up. In this case, this is called a gravity pour. Fill it up until it overflows a little bit. Close it down. That'll give you 100%, but again, you'll lose some on the road. There's also a way to fill it through lines like this. It really just depends on your RV. It should be labeled. If you're using water at the park, you can simply hook up to your city water and everything will be labeled city water. That is constant water from the park. You are not using it from the tank at that point. If you use the city water, that will give you constant water and water pressure. You are working off of the park's pressure. You are no longer working off of a water pump. Hopefully that answers everybody's questions on RV water maintenance, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, guys, RV's put up, ready to go. So last thing you do, take off the gloves and throw them in the trash. Remember, every patient gets a new set of gloves. Thanks for listening today. If there's any questions you have, please post them. I'm glad to comment. Check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our page, and look at us on Facebook. Thanks for coming out, guys.